Blessed love, and welcome back to another video. It is Saturday morning. I think it's about 40 something degrees right now, but it feels like 30 something. It's warming up a bit, but yeah, anything lower than 70 for me is cold. Anything no, all right, that's a stretch. Anything lower than 60 for me is cold. I know for some people, especially you people who live up north, this is nothing for you, but for me, I am freezing. Yeah. But give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. I'm reading a book right now by Lisa Fields. Lisa Fields, and it's called When Faith Disappoints. And there's a particular chapter there where she's talking about, the fact that life is bittersweet. Life is bittersweet, and sometimes we walk hand in hand with both pain and promise at the same time, with pain and joy at the same time. And the older I have gotten, or the older I am getting, I realize how true that is. It's like you're celebrating, but in the midst of the celebration, something go wrong. Not necessarily with that particular thing that you're celebrating, or pertaining to that particular thing, but another aspect of your life just seem to be upside down. And I was thinking back in 2020, when I was getting very close to migrating and being here with my wife, and at the same time my grandmother was getting ill, or more ill. And just the fact that walking through that season for me, it felt so disorienting. It felt absolutely disorienting. It felt like it was a lot of confusion, like just mixed emotions. It was just a whirlwind, I would say, of emotions. And it's not that I have never been through, or I had never been through a season like that before, but it was just heightened. It was just heightened, it's like great joy, but then intense and heavy sorrow. And just navigating that, I learned a lot through that season. I learned a lot, but one of the lessons that I want to talk about today is the reality, that we will not always know why. We will not always know why. You will not always know why. And sometimes, because we have limited energy, we have limited attention as human beings. So, whichever direction you're putting your energy in, just know that you can't have that same energy somewhere else, because it is already invested elsewhere. Understand what I'm saying? So I learned that in seasons like those, you can't, it doesn't make sense. Even though we naturally are gonna be asking the question why. Why is this happening? Why is this happening now? Why is this happening to this person? Why is this happening to me? Etc. And we have all these questions. And for some of us, who believe in God, we ask God these questions. For some of us, we ask ourselves the question. We ask just find somebody else we ask. But I have learned that in these seasons, or in hard seasons, instead of focusing my energy on the why this is happening, the why that is happening, I have learned, and I'm still learning, I'm a work in progress. I have learned to not necessarily focus on the why this thing is happening, but to focus on the lessons. Focus on what can I get from this? What can I learn from this? How can I help the situation? How can I find a solution to a particular problem? How can I make things better or improve a certain situation, instead of asking why is this happening, or focusing on that? It's fine to ask the question, but instead of focusing on the why, I have become more solution oriented. I have become more, just finding the lessons in the thing instead. I hope I'm making sense. So, for example, as I was going through that season of, losing my grandmother and so on, I learned one of the greatest lessons that I think as human beings we can ever learn. And that is, I learned that time is, on this side of life, is finite. It is finite. That time is not unlimited, that time is very limited, and sometimes, most times, more limited than we think. Because we often feel that our lives will go on until we are 80, 85, 90, sitting in a rocking chair drinking our coffee in the morning. And we think that that is how much time we will have here. Or we think that our relatives, so for example, my grandmother, I envision my grandmother being here at least long enough to see my own children, or to see, her great grandchildren. And, because my grandmother wasn't somebody who did sicky, or so on, apart from little arthritis, and so she wasn't a sick person. And even mentally, she wasn't, even though she was in her 70s by that time, she never had like any memory loss or dementia or nothing like that. So I honestly thought that we had more time with her. But then, just like that, she was no more. And all I have to hold on to is the memories. So yeah, through that season, I learned that time is not unlimited. That time in this earth, on this earth, living on this earth as it is finite. And you must spend time with the people that you love. You must make time with the people that you love, because many times we say we don't have the time. But the saying is true that people often find time for the things that they value. We understand that life is not easy, and that all of us have to work and, to make our food, to make our bread and whatever. But with the way your technology is right now, it takes nothing out of you to take up the phone and make a phone call. It takes nothing out of you to take up the phone and send a text message. It takes nothing out of you or out of us to go down the road, man. Because some of us, we don't live far from our relatives or whatever. And go down the road, man. Sit down a little bit. If I have 5 minutes and have a conversation. Because the person, as you know them, is not here forever. So that is what I learned through that season. But back to the main point of what I'm trying to say in this video, is that we often walk with promise and with pain, or with purpose and with pain, hand in hand, going together at the same time. It's not very often you have a season where it's just good, happy, celebrate, and nothing is going wrong. You get me? But even as you go through seasons like that, try not to make whatever that is bad or negative that is happening, try not to make it overtake you. Try not to make it consume your mind, consume your thoughts, because as I said earlier, the energy that you have is limited. The energy that you have is either poured in this direction or that direction. So when you pour everything over here, so when you put everything into, the negative emotions and the negative situations that you're facing, you will be blinded. It's easy to be blinded. It's easy to be jaded, they'd say. It's easy to lose focus of even the good that is currently happening in your life. So yeah. So I know the seasons like that can be disorienting. I know seasons like that can feel, confusing. But trust me, you're gonna make it through it, man. I believe that you are going to pull through this season, no matter how terrible and how hard it feels. I really just hope and trust that, God will give you the strength to see His goodness in all of it. To see His goodness in all of it, and also to learn through the process. Learn through the process, so that you will have, the lessons to help you in future seasons, or you will have those lessons to help other people. Just like how I can come here now and I'm helping you, you can also help other people as they navigate similar seasons, because we're all here to help each other. So yeah, man, the season might feel confusing, or might feel like you don't understand what is happening right now, because yes, this good thing is happening, but at the same time this terrible thing is happening too. Know that you're not alone, and know that, guess what, that's just life. This is just how life is. But God have a way, of strengthening us in our times of weakness. So just hold on to God, keep focused, and more than anything else, take it one step at a time. Take it one day at a time. Because though the season is how it is right now, seasons change. Yeah? Seasons change. Seasons change. You see, now it's winter. And by your quint, spring again. By your quint, summer. Seasons change. Yeah? So just continue for us. Hold on. Take your time, day by day, step by step. And God will do the rest. Yeah? Blessings.